So, I know this is different, and I didn't record me actually doing it because I was not sure of what I was doing, and I didn't want to totally mess up. And yeah, I have to sneeze. Okay, so I didn't want to totally mess up and not be able to put up that video. And yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna explain what I did now. Okay? Okay, we good? Okay. So, first off, because mine's half and half, I had to re-separate the two sides. If you're doing your whole head, you won't have to do that, obviously. But I had to separate the blonde from the black. This is no longer blonde. Picture it blonde. Blonde from black. Had to separate it. And then I clipped the whole mighty hell out of the black to make sure it wouldn't go over to that side. So there were 50 bobby pins just pinning this side of my hair over. So once I had them separated, what I did is I brushed all the blonde so it was all over here. So it was kind of derp to derp derp. Just picture this awesomeness. It's not as good as it was, but whatever. And so this is all pinned, so I'm just gonna hold this, okay? What are you doing, hairs? Just okay. So what I did is that I leaned over and brushed it this way. You won't have to do this if you're not doing the half and half, but this is what I had to do because I have the half and half. And then that way I could see where my bangs were, so I could separate the purple away, or what I wanted purple away from what I wanted blue. So with this clipped, I just separated all the pieces I didn't want blue, like so, and clipped them back. This isn't all of it. I'm doing it really crappily, but whatever. So if you're doing your whole head, you would just pin all of this dealio back, whatever you don't want the color you're doing first, pin back. I need a tissue. Stay. Okay. So if you're doing blue and purple, and the blue, if you're doing it like this, do the blue first. It's easier. Always do the lighter color first, if that makes sense. Because it's easier that way. Because if I had gotten blue on any of these hairs, I could have gone over that with purple. If I had gotten purple on these hairs, it would be a more blue purple. It wouldn't have been blue. So after you have your hair separated, you have your little mixing bowl. It's all somewhere over there, so I'm not going to go get it. I'm sorry. Just use your super awesome imaginations, okay? So you have your mixing bowl, you have your dye, and you have your little brush. And I didn't wear gloves, which is stupid because now my fingers are all kinds of colors. Wear gloves, unless you don't mind having Smurf and purple hands. So yeah. So what you do, I mixed multiple colors to get this blue, but if you're just using one color, put a dollop of that in the bowl. Always use less than you think you're going to use. Because you can mix more, but if you have to wash a bunch of dye down the sink, that sucks. You just wasted so much money right there. But yeah, so you put a dollop in the bowl. Then you take conditioner. It does not matter what conditioner. I used my normal Color Protect. And I'll tell you if the color lock helps keep the color in longer than a regular just conditioner keeps the color. I have no idea how it's going to work. It's the first time I've done it with a color lock. But you mix the conditioner and the dye in the bowl with your brush. Tinting brush. It's a tinting brush. Use a tinting brush. You can get them for $2 at Sally's. Go get it. So you mix that together. You have your gloves on. You're super awesome, surgeon snap gloves. And then you pull a piece of hair. You take your tinting brush. You put a little bit of dye on it. Not a glob. Just dip in the end. Because if you put a glob, it's going to fall right in front of you and stay in the counter or the floor or whatever. A dip. Then you go brush, 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 brush. Brush, 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 brush. Run it through. Yeah. Does that make sense to anyone at all? You just saturate the hair with the color. Then if you're using Manic Panic, I think they include this step on the instructions, but if they don't, you take a comb and you comb through the color, just like do one comb, and then there's going to be frothiness on the comb. Then you just kind of like pat it on that section. That's what I do, at least. When you comb another section, you pat on the frothiness. Comb another section, pat the frothiness. And that helps like make sure you got every strand. And it helps the color, at least with Manic Panic, it helps it dye, saturate, whatever, more efficiently. And then you've done your blue or whatever color you're doing. So you've done the blue, and it's all like fully dyed. So you take it and you like twist it and you clip it right there, okay? So you have like the blue clipped here. And since it's all secured together, just use one clip unless you have a lot of hair, then you maybe use a few clips, but just secure it in one section, not near the purple or whatever color you're doing. And once that's secure, you can take out the clips holding the purple, or the area that you're going to dye purple. So you take those out, and you've already rinsed the bowl with the tinting brush, or you have another bowl and tinting brush for the purple. And you put a dollop of color, and I used only one color. I used Manic Panic Ultraviolet for this. I don't remember what colors I used for this, I'm sorry. But, so you do a dollop, you mix some conditioner in it, and then you go, you do the area along where the blue is first, because that way you won't have to go over that at the end and maybe mess up, and it just gets it done. And then what I do, since mine's half and half, is I go down my part, like brushing that way, of course. I just go brush, 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 dip, brush, 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 dip, brush, brush, brush. And for that, on the back, I just use my finger as like a guide, and I like run it down the part, but like flat against the back of my head, like that, but on the back of my head, and I just kind of like run it down along with my brush. So I'm brushing against my finger instead of the other hair. And then I take a mirror and I look at another mirror and I make sure I didn't miss any spots. And then you fully saturate the rest of your hair the same way you did the front. Run a comb through it, pat the froth down, massage it into your scalp if you want, and then clip that up because it's going to be annoying if it's like dragging on your neck. You're just going to have this purple. So after you have the dye in, if you used Manic Panic, since it is vegetable based and not like chemically ness, you can leave it in for a very long time. If your hair is really damaged, I wouldn't leave it in too long. My hair wasn't totally like damaged, so I left mine in for about 2 hours because then I had to go to a thing, so yeah. But I left it in for 2 hours, and I just like went on my computer for 2 hours, like watched Netflix or whatever. I just sat with it, and then I rinsed it out in the sink. I rinsed out the blue first. Like, I left the purple clipped in, and I rinsed out all of the blue, like, until the water was running clear. And then I washed out the purple, and then I used the same Color Lock conditioner and ran it through my hair really quick. And then I took out all the pins in the black, because at that point I had, like, a ponytail sticking out the side of my head. And that would have looked really funky if I had just taken that out and been like, nyeh, on this side and like all cute on this side. So I took that out, and then so the conditioner was only in for about a minute or two, and then I just washed out the conditioner and then kind of ran the black side under the water, just damp it, threw it up in a towel, brushed it, dried it, styled it, whatever, and there you go. That's how I did it. It's really that simple. However, if you do want your colors this bright, my suggestions for you are: 1, get your hair really, really light blonde. And don't rush it. Don't go from like black to like platinum blonde in one day. Your hair will break, and it will be very brittle and very damaged, and it will be awful. So like space out bleachings or tonings or whatever you're doing over a few weeks, few months, however long you have. Do not rush it. And I know you don't want to walk around with like orange hair after bleaching, but I feel like a week of orange hair is better than a few years of hair that's like that long and like brittle and damaged. And so just take it slow with the bleaching. But if you watch my previous videos, you can see how light I got my hair to before doing this. And actually my most recent video was about 3 days before I did this. So that's how light my hair was. I was about a level 10 blonde. If you know what that is, you can literally, if you don't, you can Google image it. Go Google images level 10 blonde and it'll show you what color that is. That's about where my hair was. I had some like darker pieces and some lighter pieces, of course, but it was about that light, and that's how I got my color this bright. When I previously did purple in my hair, I had my hair about up to maybe a level 8 or 7 blonde, and it did not work out very well. First of all, the purple came out within like 2 washes. Also, it looked really weird. Like, some spots were this bright and some spots were like almost black or blue purple. It was weird. But I'm going to stop talking because this video is now 13 minutes long. I hope this helped. If you have any questions at all, you can message me and I will try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. I have been dyeing my hair for about a year now. There are people who have been doing it way longer than me, and then I'm also not a professional. This is what I do in my dorm bathroom. Like, legit, I'm in the little sink area of my dorm doing this. I'm not gonna say I'm professional about it at all. But yeah. So I hope this helped, or gave you ideas for dyeing your hair, or you just watched me be a total idiot while I'm sick. And yeah, so I love you guys, and have an amazing day, and week, and month, and year, and decade, and century, and I'm gonna shut up. Bye!